Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Dr. Jan Fortman with Relationship Matters TV. I hope everyone is having a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. It's a beautiful day here in the city of Chicago, where Lollapalooza is getting ready to take place. So there'll be people here from all over the world. I'm not going though. I had a chance to be some kind of usher or something like that, and I thought, nah, I don't think so. Some of the music I like, some of those people I never heard of, but then I'm not, a millennial, Gen X, none of those. I'm just a senior citizen. Well, I am still on my soapbox. I really thought I could get off, and I still cannot. People are still getting the variant, whatever variant, subvariant, and you're not wearing your mask. And I was at a concert, and there were, I know, at least 700 or 800 people, maybe even more. I don't know how many people that this particular theater hosts, but very few people had on masks. As a matter of fact, it was a guy behind me complaining about all these people, no mask, and I forgot my mask, and I don't see anybody, and somebody here has COVID. And well, he just went on and on. I turned around and looked at him. He said, okay. And he made an announcement. One person in front of me has her mask on. So please, people, wear your mask. Wear your mask. Our president, fortunately, he is over COVID. But even if you've had vaccine and boosters, if you're not careful and you don't wear your mask, you still, can get it. So anyway, so now I'll step off my soapbox. So let me tell you about my guest today. This is a special young lady. I'm going to call her a young lady because she is. She's a young lady, a beautiful young lady. She is a successful serial entrepreneur. She is a best-selling author. She also has a show. It's called the Wendy Lyfe Show. She's a radio talk show co-host. She is the co-founder of the You Belong Foundation, which we're going to talk about. She is a special needs advocate, a loving wife, a loving mother. As a result of being a special ed advocate for special needs community, the Wendy Lyfe Show was launched in 2018, and she believes that being free to speak your truth is powerful. And I totally agree with her. I totally agree. So I'm going to bring to you Mrs. Wendy L. Cunningham.
Hello, hello.
Hello. It's just so wonderful to see you.
It's wonderful. Girl, I heard young lady. I said, what's she talking about? So you know how to start off a show. I like that.
Talking about you.
I love it. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. We only have an hour, and girl, I'm like reading all about you. I thought, you know what? I think I need 2 days.
I'm just saying, I'm available.
So, Wendy,
yes,
tell me something about you. I know, as I said, I started reading all this stuff about you, but I do know that you are in the health and beauty industry. I want to talk about that first.
Okay.
So
Definitely.
tell me about that. Tell me that part of your entrepreneurship.
Well, I have been a Mary Kay consultant for 26 years. I started it at I was like 2 when I started, But what attracted me to the health and beauty industry was the fact that I grew up with low self-esteem. I didn't look in the mirror and I didn't see anything beautiful. I thought my sister and my mother were incredibly beautiful. And what happened? So when I did the work to build up my self-esteem, and I had to just look in the mirror and see what God created. And I don't think God created any junk. So through that work, when the opportunity came my way, I wanted to be able to tell them. We don't tell each other as women, "You're beautiful. Girl, you wearing that dress. What's that lipstick? It looks great on you." We don't do that. And I love pouring into women in particular, but I got boys, so I do pour into men, when I can. But women, as a whole, no matter what race, we're not good at pouring into each other. We're not good at saying, "I'm so excited that you got this new job, this new business. Let me support you." So Mary Kay was my vehicle to just tell one more woman how beautiful she is, because I do believe that every woman is beautiful in their own way. And then Melaleuca came around because I have always been into health and fitness. My dad did, push-ups in line, and he did push-ups. He ran in place. We were poor, so we couldn't have the gym membership, but he was always juicing and doing things. And so I've always taken supplements and paid attention to what went into my body. And when Melaleuca came along, I was like, this is a great marriage to me telling women that they're beautiful, but the beauty starts within.
So
So yeah.
Melaleuca, so it's Melaleuca, right? I heard about Melaleuca, years ago. One of my friends, she was selling it. So for people who don't know, I know everybody knows about Mary Kay, but before I go to Melaleuca, you have a pink Cadillac.
No. And I'm
Okay.
so okay with that. And
Okay.
that's what I love to tell people, because that's the first question you get.
Right.
And I think the women who drive the pink Cadillac are amazing. Mary Kay for me was more of a vehicle. The training is incredible. The self-esteem building, the just understanding different women, how to you deal with different personalities. So for me, it was a stepping stone into something different. I didn't know what it would be, but it was never my desire to be in a pink Cadillac. And I tell people, I'm like, that's okay. You have to go and have a business or go into an endeavor with what you want to do. You can't, what do they say, drink the Kool-Aid. You want to do what you want to do. And if that's to have the pink Cadillac, honey, it's nice. I've been in it. It's a beautiful thing, but that's not something that I wanted to work towards, and I'm okay with that.
Okay. So I know we're going to go into Melaleuca, but with Mary Kay, I know that you have to form a really good personal relationships with your ladies.
Yes.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. Yeah.
And for me, like I said, most women weren't used to, I've told women that they look beautiful and they looking at me like, who are you talking about? And I'm like, I'm talking about you. I want you to look in that mirror and see the beauty that God has created in you. But for Mary Kay, what attracted me also was the philosophy of God first, family second, career third. Growing
Okay.
up in corporate, I never heard that. You don't talk about the Lord. You don't talk about your spiritual beliefs. And
Right.
Mary Kay not only embraced it, but encouraged it. When you do your schedule, when you put out your life plan, your daily plan, you got to put God first. And then you slide in where your family, because your family is important. Then if you got a couple pockets left, then you slide in your Mary Kay.
Okay. All
So
right.
that's what I love about the business.
Okay. So Melaleuca,
Yes.
exactly. Is it supplements? What is it?
Melaleuca is an online wellness store. It has everything from supplements to snacks to coffee to deodorant. It's a whole store.
Okay.
But what I love about it is nothing in the store has toxins. There are no childproof caps on anything.
Oh,
There's no childproof cap on the disinfectant because it's plant-based. And that's what I love about it. My daughter having asthma when she was with us, I had to pay attention to what came in the house, from pulling up all the carpet in the house to figuring out what I clean the house with. And
oh,
I've been living green for over 22 years, and Melaleuca just kind of, it was a good marriage. It was a good addition to our household.
okay. All right. Okay. So that one part of your entrepreneurship, or no, two,
Yes.
Mary Kay,
Yes.
Melaleuca.
Yes.
All right. So now let's go on down the line.
Okay.
Okay. I know you are the co-founder of I want to get it straight. Let me say it. Let me get it straight. It is the You Belong Foundation.
Yes.
So now tell me about what the You Belong, tell us about what the You Belong Foundation is and why you co-founded it and who you co-founded it with.
I co-founded it with the love of my life, my better half, James Barnes. What it came about because being a single mom, I was a single mom with 3 children, and 2 of my children were special needs, and they had um, they had disabilities that most people hadn't heard of. And so when I would hear about, autism awareness, I thought it was great. But okay, my children don't have autism. Or, Lighthouse for the Blind has an incredible support system and resources for people with vision impairment and blindness. Okay, that's just a small part of what my children have. No one had that I could find. My Christian has what's called Dandy Walker syndrome. I had never heard of it before he was diagnosed with it. And I found it difficult to find resources specific to that. My daughter was born healthy and she contracted pneumococcal meningitis at 13 months, which devastated her brain. And she was forever disabled. And her physicality declined as she got older. But again, I heard meningitis and I thought it was just one thing, but it's an umbrella with different types underneath it. And I couldn't find anyone who understood. Just something as simple as who out there has 2 special needs children that they gave birth to. I didn't have that. So when James and I were just talking about what else we can do in addition to the Wendy Lyfe and the Page Awards, I'm like, I want to do more. I want to be able to help someone who doesn't have the insurance to get a wheelchair. I want to help a business that's helping the special needs community. I want to give them money. Like money is the driving force. Everyone needs money. And I want to do more for the platform that's so passionate to both of our hearts, the special needs community. So the You Belong Foundation is a 501c3. The website is theyoubelongfoundation.org. There is a donate button. I have no problem asking for money, but it's to help people in the special needs community have better lives and get what they need without having to go without and suffering for it just because they have a disability.
Wow, that's really amazing. That's so. Now you said the page. You mentioned the
The
page.
Page Awards.
Okay, so now what's the Page Awards?
Oh gosh, it just warms my soul. Paige is our daughter in heaven. She would have been 24 this year. She passed on at 15. And I would find it difficult because in my business, as you talk about your family and people who met me after 2013, they're like, Wendy has 2 boys. And I'm like, no, I have a daughter, but it's the clutching of the pearls that I don't like, or the people who are like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I know people are saying it from a place of love and care, but I'm like, Paige still matters. Paige is my firstborn. So I can't just dismiss her in my conversation because it makes someone else uncomfortable. And so with Sheila White of Road to Eternity, we thought of the Page Awards, and we wanted to honor people with a disability who are doing amazing things with their life. We complain because we got a hangnail or we didn't sleep well, or my hair is going left when it should go right. These people are dealing with real issues, and they are still getting up every morning and they're living life. They're doing life, overcoming. So we want to celebrate those people. We also want to celebrate people who are in the community, the doctors, the therapists, the teachers, the people with big hearts who just want to help in whatever way they can in their capacity, someone with a disability. As a mom, I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have these amazing people that I could trust my children with, all day. The bus drivers that drive them to school. So, yeah, we want to celebrate. And this is our 5th year coming up on November 6th. We are in person. Yay. and we are going to be celebrating. It's a place full of love, and everyone belongs. I've had people say, "Well, my child may yell out, or my child may go running, so I shouldn't bring them." You should bring your child. You, it doesn't matter. So if your child goes running, honey, as long as you can catch him, it's
Okay.
okay. Or if
Right.
they yell, like, good luck, because Christian, he brings his yelling game. But it's a
Okay.
place where you can come and bring your loved one and not have to worry about people staring or people, shaking their head because they think you just have a bad child, when in reality they have some sort of disability and they can't help it. So it's dinner, it's awards, it's entertainment, it's just a room of love. And people who don't have that experience with someone with a disability, you learn a lot about yourself. You learn to appreciate what you have. And that's what we love about the Page War. So this is our 5th year. Join us on November 6th. All the details will be on the YouBelongFoundation.org website.
I will run. Look, I will have that on my lower third, and I will
Awesome.
run it across. I probably just need to put it on there now for the
Well,
whole
why
family.
not we just put it on right now, so the people know. But the You Belong Foundation is because it doesn't matter what the disability is. It doesn't matter how moderate or severe it is.
Let me put it on
You
here.
belong. Let's put it
Right.
on the screen
And,
for the
and
people to
we'll
know.
just leave it on here the whole time. Can you see it?
I see it and I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
So, to become a special needs advocate, do you need special training or certification or anything? Oh, wait a minute. But before you answer that, I see someone that says here, Miss Aline Monique,
I love
I
it.
will
Thank
be
you
in the
so
building.
much.
I
Thank you
love
so
it.
much.
Oh, okay. Oh my
Thank
goodness.
you, Miss Elaine. I love that name.
Yeah, Miss Aline, and then I'm gonna put all this in here now. So, oops,
Oh,
wait a minute.
Felice is my sister.
You are such a okay. Okay. All right. So now, of course, my computer is stuck on something. Okay, there it is. All right. So, what else? Let's see. Here's somebody else that says
Oh.
she will.
That
And,
would be Paige's cousin.
oh,
Their
okay.
birthdays are a week
Okay.
apart, so they're Capricorn cousins.
Oh, okay. So, in order to be a special needs advocate, do you have
Mhm.
to have special training or certification?
It would depend on what capacity you want to be in. The first and foremost thing across the board is you have to have a heart to help someone who may not be able to say thank you, or someone who will lash out at you because they don't know any better. You have to have a big heart for helping someone. You have to have that patience. For me, you have to love the Lord, because you can't come in here with my child with a different mindset that's not in line with the way we live. But it just depends. There are a lot of people, there are doctors, there are therapists. So of course you need those certifications and that education. But just to have a heart for the people in the community, like my niece Jade and my family, they're special needs advocates because of the children that I had. They love it. Jade will hop into bed with her cousins and just love on them. And they treat them like people. You have to know that everyone has that sign on their chest that says, make me feel special. And there's nothing different about someone with a disability. They want to feel special. They want to feel like they are important to society. And they are.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So now, I'm sure that you have loads of resources for parents
Mm-hmm.
and of special needs children. And so, what are some of your resources for parents? Let's say a parent has a child who's in the hospital
Mm-hmm.
and for an extended length of time. So, how does what do you do to help that parent cope? Number one, being an advocate,
Mm-hmm.
and so what resources are out there?
Number one, you have to know. So on the You Belong Foundation webpage, there's a tab that says resources, and we're constantly adding to that every day. When people find out more about it, they want their business or their services to be put on the site. And after we do some vetting and researching, we will add them. But the first thing that you have to know is that you're not by yourself. That's a lot of times you feel like no one's going to understand, especially if you have family members who have just regular kids. I call them just regular bad kids running around. You don't have that. And that's all that we would want. We would give anything to have that. Know that you're not by yourself. The Ronald McDonald House, I had heard about it as I'm growing up, but I never knew what it was. That is an amazing resource for you at the hospital. They have homes that they have purchased near the hospital, children's hospitals. And this is the place you can go and lay your head down. It's important that you take care of yourself. It's not easy. It's difficult because you want to be right there. But if you explain to the doctors and nurses, the staff, I'm going over here, it's close by. They typically have a shuttle that you can catch going in between the hospital and the Ronald McDonald House. And you have your own room where you can lay down in a bed and rest. You have to rest. If you end up in the hospital or kill yourself trying to be there for your loved one, that's not helping them. So I ask a ton of questions. I drive many a doctor crazy because you can't just come in and do report. You have to ask those questions. Even if it seems like a stupid question, I don't care because I have to know what you're prescribing for my child, the line of care that you are recommending for my child. I have to know. So if I have to ask you how to spell it,
Okay.
and I'm writing, that's fine. If you're in a hurry, then you need to find me another doctor. And I have learned to use my voice for that. You have to ask a ton of questions. You have to say the what ifs, because a lot of times the doctors will come in with the bad news. Okay, well, I heard what you said, but what happens if? Okay, but what in your experience, what you just told me what you said, and I heard you. But in addition to that, what about the other cases that you've dealt with? Why are you like, for instance, Paige had severe scoliosis, and scoliosis is the curvature of the spine. Right. It was severe to the point where one of her lungs was shortened. Oh. So we're seeing a orthopedic surgeon. So when you hear surgeon, what did they go to school for, and what do they do for a living? They cut. And he's like, okay, so I can, we can do the surgery. We can straighten her spine. And I said, no, wait, no, we're not going to. First of all, Paige presented, she wasn't medically diagnosed as a vegetable, but that's the way she presented. She had diaper changes, oxygen. She had machines everywhere. So you're telling me you want to do a painful, bloody, hard to recover from surgery. How does that affect her quality of life? Now, will she be able to walk? And he said, no, well, no. I said, okay. Will that increase her quality of life? He goes, no, but she's so, it'll straighten her spine. I said, straightening her spine, will it stay straight? And he was like, well, it could curve again. I said, so we're not going to go with that. And he was like, but I said, and another thing, don't get angry. They're coming from their experience. They're coming from their education. I said, let me ask you, do you have children? And thankfully for my story, he had children. But he said, yeah. I said, so if your daughter looked like this, as Paige is laying on the table, would you really put her through a surgery like that? And he was like, ooh, no, I wouldn't. I said, and that's what I want you to understand as you talk to other patients behind us. Look at that patient. Don't look at what your education and where your check comes from. I respect your grind all day, but you are not going to change her quality of life. You may make it worse because this is a very dangerous surgery. So that's what I mean when I say you have to have a voice. You have to speak it. If you hurt their feelings, okay.
Yeah.
That's not your business.
Yeah.
If you frustrate them, they probably know Wendy. Just, they know me. Because I will ask questions and I will make them keep explaining it in 50 different ways until it makes sense to me. Because at the end of the day, I have to take care of this child. Yeah. So the main resource is yourself. Ask those questions. Take care of yourself, because I ended up in the hospital one year when Paige was in the hospital because I just kept running. I got to be there for the doctors. I got to be there for the boys. And I ended up in the hospital. I was like, well, Wendy, what good did that do? Yeah. It didn't. So those are the resources, but continue to check into the foundation's webpage. We are constantly adding to it. And I look forward to it just being pages because there are resources out there that we don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But the Ronald McDonald House, it makes a difference. The daily fee is nominal, and
Mhm.
even if you don't have the money, they will not turn you away.
Really?
And there are groups like fraternities and sororities and businesses. They come in and cook for the families. And that
Oh,
food you don't have to pay for. Yeah, it's an amazing resource. That's the one charity it stays on my list. I give to them all the time because of the incredible work that the people who run it, what they do for the families who have a loved one in the hospital.
I didn't know that. I know about the Ronald McDonald House,
Yeah,
but
you hear about it, but you don't know what they do.
right, I
Yeah.
didn't know they did all of that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's
You know,
amazing. And then you're with people who understand what you're going through. You're
yeah.
with other parents who are worried about their child, trying to figure out life, trying to make decisions. You are in a community of people who understand what you're going through.
And who also know of resources that maybe you don't know about.
Yeah, I have no problem talking to other parents. So what did you do with this? So what's going on with your child? Don't say what's wrong with your child. What's the diagnosis? There's
Okay.
nothing wrong with my child. We're going through something, but yeah, I know a lot being a mom of special needs children for over 20 years, but then someone else knows something because their child is different. But us together, and the more you keep adding to that, the bigger that voice grows and the bigger the sharing of communication becomes, which is so important in our community.
Right, right. Someone said here, here's a question. She,
I love questions.
Miss Aline asked, any information
Um,
on MS?
I am working on a miscellane. So we hadn't gotten to my show yet, but I do have a couple people who are going to be on my show that I'm interviewing who live with MS. And I am learning more about it myself, even with my show. I only know about what my kids had, but miscellane, I am working on those resources. I do have someone who is building something to help people in the MS community, and I look forward to adding her information to the site as well. But stay tuned. I'm working hard. I want everyone to have something that they can tap into. But even before we add the MS, just look anyway because there's still resources that's kind of across the board that that include a lot of different disabilities that you might find that would help you. But stay tuned. I'm working. We're working to build it.
This is just the work that you're doing is so wonderful. Now, how old is Christian now? Because her show, the Wendy Lyfe Show with Christian.
Yeah, Wednesdays on Facebook at 4:30 Central Standard Time, and you get to see me being disrespected by my
I don't know why
18-year-old
you say
Christian.
that. How old is Christian?
Christian is 18, but he run it. He runs it in his house, and
That,
he just started sitting up at 17. They told me he wouldn't even raise his head, and he was like, "I got stuff for you. I'm sitting up." So he will sit up for hours until I go live.
wait a
Then
minute. That's most kids, right?
well, yeah, but you don't have to treat
Well,
me like that.
he talks a storm. He talks up a storm, and
Yeah.
this another. He knows this and that. Say something, and they look at you like,
They shy. Yeah, that would be Christian. So people come on the Facebook on Wednesdays to see him. If I come on without him, I have all the chat says is where's Christian? Where's Christian? What happened to like I had a message. I was, I had something to say, but I need to explain where Christian is first. So it's more like the Christian and the Wendy Lyfe Show, but he allows me to put my name first because I'm the mother.
okay. And we have something from Maxine Walker, and
Yes.
she says her OES, that's Eastern Star chapter, has volunteered at
Yes.
Ronald McDonald House in the past, and she said we cooked dinner.
It makes a difference. You've been at the hospital all day. You've stopped into the cafeteria and gotten some cafeteria food, but those are home cooked meals going on in that kitchen, and
Right.
there's always leftovers. They've always fixed a ton of it. And if you've had a long day at the hospital with your loved one and you just come in, you could just heat up something to eat, something that's good, something that someone has cooked with love. It's such a so thank you for what you've done, Maxine. That's huge.
So a couple of questions came in. The first one, what has been your highest and lowest moments in dealing with special need individuals?
Oh wow. We don't have time for that. The highest, I'll start with the good. The highest has been, like I said, they said Christian wouldn't raise his head. And at 17, he sits up. That's huge. We learn in the special needs community to celebrate the little things, the milestones. You know, we don't have necessarily to look forward to prom and the first, boo thing, but it's the little things. The fact that he has a voice, he doesn't formulate words, but he's very loud, and I try to learn to celebrate that he has something that he can give, or the fact that he can sit up. Establishing this so that other people, other parents, other caregivers have somewhere that they can go to, as even if it's just a beginning, to get that courage, because you can do it. The lowest, of course, is my daughter passing suddenly at 15. That was heartbreaking. Although I told her for years when she'd been in the hospital, I'm like, honey, if you want to come home with me, as long as God gives me breath, you will be home with me. But if you are tired and you and the Lord get together and you're ready to go home, I'm okay with that, because I know where you're going. I
Yeah.
know that you're going to fly, you're going to be whole, and you're going to be happy. There'll be no more doctor's appointments and no more surgeries, or, no more sicknesses. So she passed suddenly, and it was the balance of trying to mourn my baby girl, my firstborn, as well as take care of the boys, because I still had the boys. I had to make sure I maintained some semblance of normalcy for them. And also
Okay.
for me, Matthew is my middle child, my oldest son. I wanted him to understand that you can't sit in a corner because of what has happened. We have to keep moving. If for anything, we have to do it in her honor. Because most people be like, oh yeah, ooh, she lost her daughter. So, it's okay. It's not okay for me.
Yeah.
I need to stand up and I need to have a voice, and I'm doing it in her honor. And I know that she's looking down on me saying, Mama, like, is that really what you wearing? Because she would be 24, right? Is that what you wearing? Is that the way you want? And I just think of those things to always keep her presence at the forefront of my mind as I'm doing what I do. So yeah,
Okay.
losing my daughter at a young age was hard.
Yeah. I can only imagine. You
I
know.
wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Wendy, I gotta take a quick break,
Okay.
and then we will be right back. And if you have questions that you would like to uh, ask Wendy, or any more
Yeah.
comments,
I
you
love
put
questions.
loves questions.
I do. That's how
Okay.
we learn.
You're right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we will be right back with Wendy L. Cunningham. Okay, we are back with Wendy. And another question came in. It says, what would you say to someone who has just discovered that they may now have a special needs child?
Mm, that's a hard one. It is, I would say I am telling you after 20 years that you can do it. It's scary, it's confusing. Depending on who's in your circle, they may be saying things like, you must have done something to cause it. All of that, anything negative is not true. You can do it. You just have to start by asking a lot of questions. Find a group. The reason why we created the Wendy Life is so that you can look and you're trying to get through the day, you're trying to make decisions. You can look at a show where someone understands you. Know that you're not alone. No matter what the diagnosis is, you're not alone. And feeling like you're alone it's detrimental to your success as a parent of a special needs child. You're not alone. I spent years thinking I was alone, and I fell into a depression, and I I drank. I'm pretty open about my life. I was drinking every night just to get to sleep, just because I couldn't figure out why I was put why I was in this position. Like everybody I know got regular bad kids running around, and I have these children. The why doesn't matter now, because now you have a job to do that you can do. You just have to take it one day at a time. Ask a ton of questions. Ask for referrals from the doctors. If there's a doctor that doesn't please you or doesn't answer questions to your liking, they got to go. Let me find another. I've put many a doctor out of my daughter's or in my son's room. But just know that you're not alone. For me, prayer made a huge difference. I just said, Lord, I need to white knuckle you because I don't even understand what's happening right now. It's going to be a long journey. It makes you stronger. It makes you have that voice you didn't think you had. I'm a shy girl from the inner city. I ain't talking to nobody. But when it comes to my children, I will get up on that eyelash to make my questions known, to let you know how I feel. This is what's going to happen, whether you like it or not. So tap into people. You got to find people. Let your family help you. If you have family members that want to help, let them help. Even if I need you to sit here while I go to sleep for an hour, and always know that you have to take care of yourself. You still have to put yourself as number one, because if you're not here, now what?
Yeah. So Sharon Ellis wants to know, what's the best way to support the foundation after the financial donation?
I love the way she said after. But there's a need for people to volunteer. We just talked like earlier, someone needs someone to come and be with their loved one. We need sitters, we need respite, we need a hand to hold, we need somebody to come and sit with our loved one if safe to do so, while we just go and have coffee with a friend. Try to maintain some semblance of normalcy with your friends, with you getting out in a way. And for me, I'm a work from home mom, so I stayed in it 24/7. It gets to be overwhelming. So helping where you can see help, you know what you can and can't do. And if you have someone with a special needs loved one, even parents. I mean, this is not just children. We're in that era where a lot of times we're taking care of our parents and we're taking care of kids. So if somebody comes stay with your parent who's going through something because they now have a disability, take them on. No, I don't want to bother nobody. I don't want to be a burden. They're asking you. So take them up on that. So yeah, just volunteer where you know. And Sharon is an incredible person. She has come and stayed with her boyfriend, as we call him, Christian, while James and I went and had a date night. It makes a difference. It doesn't have to be something major. It could be something as simple as letting you get out and take some fresh air without having to worry about your loved one.
Okay, and Miss Aline says you were chosen for the babies for a reason.
Thank you. I do believe that. Matthew would always ask, why do we have these? Why does he have the siblings that he has? Because he didn't have a playmate.
Okay.
Matthew didn't grow up with siblings that he could scream at for pulling it, stealing his clothes, or, they're arguing about random stuff. He didn't have that. So he would ask. And I said, what, God knew that we had the heart to take care of these children and to love them so that they know love. The one thing I did not regret when Paige passed was I told her every night that I loved her. She knows I left it all out on the table for her. Whatever she needed, that's what she got. And that gave me peace when she passed. So I do believe that. Thank you for saying that, Miss Aline.
And we have Sandy Barney Ennis says she applauds you. She says, I have a cousin whose daughter that graduated from college and 2 weeks later came down with a plethora of illnesses that affected her brain. Keela made a major transformation from independent to dependent. She became her mom's special needs child at 21 until her death at 25. Her mom never received any answers and blames herself. What would you say to that mom? What can Sandy even say to that mom?
You blame yourself. That's the first. And I can't speak for fathers. I can't speak for men, but I know moms, we blame ourselves for everything. But it's not your fault. Look at the accolades you were able to say beforehand. She went to college, she graduated. She was an amazing person. You have to know that you did an incredibly good job. You showed up as a mother, and it showed in how she was gearing her life. And a lot of times they don't have answers as to why Christian has Dandy Walker. We gave birth to 2 healthy children, and at 20 weeks utero, we just trying to see if it's a boy or girl because we arguing about names, and then we find out there's something, he has this disability. So it's not the mom's fault, unless the person is on drugs or, something that they physically did to cause harm to their child. It's not your fault. And it does you no good to rise up and live life in your daughter's honor to keep blaming yourself. I had things that I blamed myself when Paige got sick. I'm like, maybe I should have, could have, would have. That's not making anything, but I got to show up for her while she was here. I got to show up for these boys. I have to show up for the special needs community that I love so much. But it's not her fault.
In your resources, so let's say a mom who's blaming herself, or moms that do blame themselves. In your resources, do you refer people, let's say moms or dads or families, to I guess other like social workers or psychologists or psychiatrists? You have those people in your resources?
We will. I just spoke with she's a therapist, and she's spoken to groups of people who have disabled family members, and she has said yes to coming on board and leading groups and doing presentations to people. But I love the fact you said moms and dads, because a lot of times dads are able to check out. Dads are like, I don't know what to do with this problem. It can't be fixed. I'm gone. And you can't be mad. You can't be mad because that's the way the brain is wired, right? But I love to keep families together. I am divorced from my children's father, but there's life after that. That's a whole nother story. But you have to know that,
James Barnes, Mr.
Yes.
Mrs. Wendy L.
Can the record show that I said we got to say my last name is Barnes?
Like,
girl, you try to get me in trouble over here. Yeah,
so,
but it's the foundation is very new. It's very new. So we are looking, and that's something that's very important to me, that people have someone. I've had hours and years of therapy just because I'm like, I need someone I can go dump on, someone who can help me manage my day to day, someone that I don't feel I need to drink every night to go to sleep. I had to stop that. I'm not doing my kids any good if I become an alcoholic through what I'm doing. So yeah, we will be building that into it. I promise you. That's very important to me.
So this is a personal question.
Let's go.
So you said you're divorced from your kids' biological fathers.
Yes.
So you found a man
I
who
did. A good
who
one.
a good one
A good man.
who saw that you had special needs children,
Yeah.
and he married you. Because
Yes.
I'm saying this because I think probably a lot of women who are single or whose husband have gone
Yeah.
probably think they can't find anyone.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. That's why Mr. James Barnes. Okay,
Girl, what won't he do it?
won't he do it?
God showed up and I said, this what we
All righty now.
but I didn't think so number one, we're not supposed to find a man. They're supposed to find us.
True that.
And when I got down from my high horse telling the Lord I was never getting married again, I said, maybe I should stop telling the Lord maybe I should just listen. But while I waited on God if I'm by myself, Lord, I'm good. But if you have someone out there who can come into this, I'm good. And I worked on myself because we're good at saying, he got to be this tall. He got to make this kind of money. He got to do this. What are you bringing to the table? And I didn't want to bring to the table the baggage I had from my last marriage, the hurt I had from losing a daughter, or having two special needs kids. And meeting James, I'm that person, like, don't tell them about your kids on the first date. You're going to know everything. And I'm eating like I normally eat on the first date. You're going to get Wendy. And when I said I have 3 children and 2 are special needs, he was like, okay. And I'm like,
What?
did you hear what I said? But he was fine with it. He met the kids and I would pay attention. And I didn't have but 2 guys really around my children. And one of them was James. But I wanted to see how they acted. Like, don't be acting, like you scared because you're not the person to come into our lives.
Right.
And James came in and Christian loved him. And that was huge because Christian don't like men. You got to be female to get up in his face. But he loved James. And James, we started dating about 6 months before Paige passed. Wait, May, June, July. 4 months before Paige passed. And he showed up for me in a way I never would have thought. We just dated 4 months.
Wow.
He helped me through that process so much. I don't know. And I said, God had him come into my life at a time that he knew I was going to need him. Yeah, he who finds a wife. I'm not looking for no man. They got to come find me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait, let me go over and look at my husband.
There you go. Look at you. Hey. Yeah, you have to be patient and you have to present who you would want God to like God is doing the work to get this man for you and you just being random.
Thank you.
You got to work on you. You got to remove all that mess. I was in therapy when I met James and I prayed a lot because I said, Lord, okay, this is my list. He got to be this, which had nothing to do with physicality, nothing. It was everything that he could feed into me as a woman, as a wife, as Jesus loved the church. I needed him to love me. And here he come. Girl, I thought I was going to kick it for a couple years. The Lord was like, okay. And I was like, what? Oh, already? Okay, very well. But I'm not stupid. I said I wasn't going to get married. But this man right here, I would have been stupid to let him go. He's amazing.
So my final question to you is, if someone is looking for a special needs advocate, how do they go about looking for one?
Dr. Google. Somebody called it Dr. Google. I said, okay, doctor. They do know. Google knows a lot. But it's just doing the Google. I am available, but I have a special needs child myself, so I can't say I'm available to everyone. But I'm always open to hearing people's stories and trying to lead them in the right direction. On the website, we will have those resources building and and my goal is to get it to a point where we have communities that are built into the You Belong Foundation where you can and don't limit it to what the disability is of your child. Look for things that include different disabilities because you never know. You're staying here, but then this disability may help you here. So it's doing the research, it's praying, it's knowing that you can do it and that you have a voice. Once you know you have a voice and that you can do it, you take that first step. God is just waiting for you to make that next step because He has all the answers. And if you tap into Him, He puts people and He's put people in my life. I'm like, wow, okay, wow. Oh, wow. And
Wow.
you
And
keep
wow.
believing. Keep believing.
Now you have another show, and what is it on? What network is it on?
JD3 TV. It's called
JD TV.
Yes, it's called the Wendy Lyfe Show, LYFE, because I like to be different and extra. Don't judge. But it's about I talk to people with disabilities. I talk to people in the community who are helping, and it gives me joy. It gives me so much joy to put that information out for you to ask the questions that people be scared to ask. I ain't scared to ask nothing.
All right.
I ask all the questions. So yeah, stay tuned to JD3 TV for the Wendy Lyfe Show, the You Belong Foundation. We got lots going on over here.
All righty, Wendy. Well, also
Girl,
people,
it's been an hour. This is
I
crazy.
told you it goes by so fast. It goes by so fast.
It does.
I want to
What an
thank you
honor. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
and thank you. And people, I've been running across the bottom of the screen. You know, I don't really do this. I don't really run across the whole show. But
Oh,
I
well,
thought
praise
this was
God.
just
Thank you for doing it.
so important. Uh, go to the youbelongfoundation.org.
Yes.
You can, on that website is so much information, and you will really get to really see a lot more about the You Belong Foundation. So
I
Wendy,
will.
thank you so much. And I will tune into your Wendy Lyfe Show on JD3 TV.
Thank you so much. What a
I,
pleasure. And I'm tuning into yours because you have an amazing platform as well.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. You
Thank
have a
you.
beautiful, blessed rest of your evening.
You too. Thank you so much.
All right, Wendy. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
This has been amazing. It's been a wonderful show, and she's given us so much information. I forgot to say I used to be a special ed teacher, and so and and a lot of the information, and I know some special ed teachers who are still teaching, and I hope that they tuned in, and if not, I'm going to send this to them because a lot of times teachers really don't know the resources that are out there. But this is something that I want to show you. Oh, gee, wait a minute. I'm going to share something with you right now. Of course, oh, you know what? I cannot stand. Okay, here it is. So now I got to go to, I want to share. I wanted to share something. I don't know how to share. Oh, no, here it is. It says share. Reading is fundamental. It says share screen. I got to show you all something right quick. Share screen and go to my Chrome tab and go to this person right here and there share. There it is. The inauguration. Miss Aline Monique. August 1st, 2022, from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Stan Mansion, located in Chicago, Illinois, 2408 North Kedzie Boulevard, Chicago, Illinois. And she's going to have all of these wonderful speakers. You can go on Eventbrite and find this. It's the Silent Fight Presents. She's having motivational speakers, vendors, live entertainment, a DJ, a car raffle. You can win a car, and networking. And guess what? Even though my picture's not on there, I'm going to be there too. And I'm going to be on the stage too. So here it is. Oops, stop sharing. Okay. There we go. So, if you would like to be there, I'm going to, it's August 1st. It's at the Stan Mansion in Chicago, Illinois. You can go on Eventbrite and look for the inauguration. And you will see some wonderful speakers. If you want to be a vendor, the information is on there about being a vendor. And also, I will be there. And I will be doing the raffle. And I will be giving away a car. Unfortunately, I can't win the car because I would like to win the car, but I can't. But anyway, Sharon, you ask, does the foundation help adults with disabilities? But if you go on the website, the youbelongfoundation.org, then you can find that out. I want to thank everyone for coming in. I hope you got some valuable information, and I will see you again next week. Same time, same place. Again, this is Dr. Jan Fortman with Dr. Janice Hooker Fortman with Relationship Matters. Remember, life is about relationships. Everyone have a beautiful, blessed rest of your morning, afternoon, and evening. Bye-bye.